Hi again. I moved myself all the way here so that I get out of the way of the code. Okay, let's talk statements. What I would like to do right now is to define what a statement is. And a statement is basically any single line of code that executes an action. We can think about it this way. So for example, a statement is this line of code here, and it's a statement because it's basically asking the computer to perform a particular action, which is going to the console and then writing a line that with this particular text message here. This is also a statement because it's going to the console and it's requesting to wait for user input to move on and to get some keys from the input. All right. Statements are very important because they are the basic building blocks of computer code, and very soon you will see how writing a program is very similar to writing a kitchen recipe. You basically start by describing what the ingredients of your recipe are going to be, and in this case, in computer code, those ingredients are very often going to be, for example, a collection of variables with particular values, and then the actual procedure to get the recipe cooked is going to be a series of instructions that are going to take the ingredients, are going to mix them in a particular way, and they're going to be executed sequentially, one after the other. So in computer programming, it's the exact same thing. You will start with this collection of variables, and then your program will be a series of statements, one after the other, working with the values of those variables, maybe modifying them, maybe combining them, but executing those orders, those statements, one after the other sequentially. So it's very important to understand that the order in which I write my statements in a computer program matters a lot, and the execution pointer, which is the like the cursor or the object that the computer uses to run your code, will be executing one at a time and will be jumping over between different parts of your program depending on how you control the flow of that program. We will see a lot of techniques very soon on how to control that flow, to make conditions, to execute one part of the code or the other, or to iterate and, for example, execute a particular block of code many different times. So statements are the basic building blocks, and you will hear me use that word a lot. But remember, it's just basically a line of code that executes a particular action. All right. You will see that a statement is very commonly composed of the basic units are, for example, it's usually the name of a function. In this case, is the function writeLine, which belongs to the console object, and I will explain very soon what this means, the idea of having a function within another object and how to use the dot operator to access the function that is inside of an object. You will see here, I will explain that very soon. Then a statement, which is, for example, a function call. Very typically what it has is you open and close parentheses. Opening and closing parentheses mean you want to call this function, you want to execute that function, and then inside of those open and close parentheses, it's some kind of information that you are providing the function so that the function can work with that information, or is sometimes, and it can be one message, it can be several messages or several arguments separated by commas, or it can be nothing. A function can work without receiving any kind of information. It will depend on the function, and you will need to know how those functions work, or you will need to know how to look them up on a reference. And last but not least, is very important, statements in C# must always be ended with a semicolon. Anything that ends in a semicolon is a statement. And semicolons are there to differentiate what different statements are. All right? So whenever you finish writing a line of code, you will always have to finish that with a semicolon. And you will notice how at the beginning you will always forget a lot. So for example, if I remove this, you will see how my code is probably going to complain. And it's actually literally going to tell me here, I believe I'm expecting a semicolon here. Have you forgotten? Right? And then I will prompt me. And this code, if it's not working, if it has an error like this one, it's not going to let me execute this code. So you see, there were build errors. Would you like to continue running? No. And here, it's telling me, oh, there's an error on line 23 of program.cs. I am expecting a semicolon. So now I can just fix this, run this code, and you can see that the window is popping up here, and it's printing my hello world message. All right. Awesome. So let's take a look at what are the rules, the syntactical rules, and how sensitive code can be to certain liberties that we might take with writing this code. Follow me up on the next video.